Right. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon for our European folks. And thank you so much for being here today. Welcome to this special webinar, Connecting Your AI to Client PSA with MCP. A lot of abbreviation here. Hi, I'm Rosalie, Customer Success Manager at Client. And as always, I'm joined today by Yanick, our CEO. Hi, Yanick.
Hello, Rosalie. Are you ready for some magic, Rosalie, today?
Yes, I am ready. And we also have Natalie who will be in the chat answering your questions. However, today we may grab some questions and just address them live. On that point, please do make sure that you are asking questions in the chat. This is hopefully a very interactive webinar. We want to know where you stand, any questions you have. And there's no small questions. So everyone is at different level when it comes to AI. So just go ask your questions. Let's start with a quick poll because we are curious. We want to know who's there today in the audience. We want to know if this is your first client webinar. If it is, it's a very good one to get started, a bit different. So just take a few seconds to have a look at it. And then, as you may know, since I see some of you are regular webinars already, we just had our product update last week, product update webinar, where we mentioned the Client PSA MCP, but there was way too much to cover on that webinar, which is why we decided to do today's webinar. So we've got a packed agenda, Yannick. So we are diving into MCP versus agent. What's the difference here? We'll show you how to install it. And then Yannick is going to do a great demo showing you how to install it and then ask questions and then use the skills. We'll tell you more about this. And
Hands-on
then again,
experience. Yes.
there is a lot. You'll see it. I think even is going to show a bunch of different screens at the same time. So I hope everyone is ready and welcome to our first timer
And
webinar.
I have my Canadian flag, Rosalie. You didn't mention it. So I'm wishing the best for our Canadian team. Sorry that the Netherlands lost yesterday, but we'll represent hopefully for the next one. Maybe I'm going to be more lucky than last time I had my Canadian shirt for the hockey, but we'll see.
And tomorrow is Canada's Day. So
There
it's
you
a
go.
double
So it's a
celebration.
dual purpose.
All right, so let's start with the basics here because there's a lot of jargon flying around, a lot of abbreviation, etc. So we'll start with, yeah, let us know, Yannick, where do we start? What is MCP,
Yep.
etc., etc. Yeah.
So MCP, for those of you guys who know, it's a protocol that allows you to connect your Salesforce or any other system, but in our case Salesforce, with your own LLM or own engine, AI engine. Okay, so this is an MCP. There's a list of tools that you can access to connect to Salesforce, usually through API. In the past, we were always connecting through API all our system. Now we have it's a standard protocol that shared across all the different LLMs and tool. This way the agent can connect easily to tools. So that was MCP is. In our case, we're going to be looking at Visual Studio Code. Our setup now requires that you have also Salesforce CLI install. The skills I'm going to demo, they are optimized for Claude Code. You are going to be able to make it work on the other platform. There's going to be a little bit more tweaking and playing around. The world of MCP versus the world of agents, it's a lot more techy. So that's a big difference between MCP. MCP, you're back to kind of installing things on your computer, paths and those kind of things, and it has a feel of DOS and working with a terminal and asking question. While agents on the other side, and Agentforce agent and our agents, they reside in Salesforce. They live in Salesforce, so not on the outside. They can use any kind of LLM, so they can use Claude, they can use ChatGPT engine, but they live in Salesforce and they're bounded to more fixed instruction, fixed timeline. While the MCPs and LLM, they can go crazy. So if the LLM, and in our case, what we're going to showing today, if you ask them to do something and they're not able to do it, the tool is not able to do it, it's going to find a way to do it. While the agent is going to just say, no, I'm not able to do it. Try another tools to do it. Okay. So that's one of the main things. Yes, you're going to be able to connect with Gemini, Gemini code version, not Gemini web, but you're going to be able to do it. We've tested a few install instruction. This is the part that you're going to need to figure it out a bit more. We're ready to help. This being said, every LLM has a different way of installing skills and running skills. Gemini don't have skills properly, but they can still consume the instruction. And MCPs, they're spin up in a different way. This it's all linked to the same uh, credentials of all your users. So whatever customer information your user can see through Salesforce, that LLM, that connection is going to see the same. So I have the same credentials, same rules. It's just I can do a lot of things quicker. So I can make a mess quicker. So that's also the difference between Agentforce and MCP. You have the same credentials, but I can touch everything at once and change everything at once. Our MCPs, they don't have any delete. So we don't allow delete. This being said, like I said, if you have Salesforce CLI and other tools, Salesforce MCP, there is some delete, so he's going to find a way. But our tools don't provide any delete, so okay. So there's a listing here of between the difference between Agentforce and Agent, MCP and LLM. We offer both, and you will see with our product listing, we're trying to represent as well the skills that our LLM will be using, similar to what our agents are doing. So you will see we have a project skills where we have Planny, we have a time skills where we have Timey. So we're trying to go along that route too. So a specific agent doing specific tasks very well, specific skills to do tasks very well. So in a nutshell, this is what we are presenting today. Unless there's other specific question, we can move on the demo side, Rosalie.
Yeah, I was just going to ask a quick question now that we've kind of mentioned a little bit what MCP is. I'm just curious to know, people in the room today, we already see some questions like how much do you know or not know about MCP as we're diving into? I think it's going to help Yanick as well kind of see how deep we go with the demo. So we're just curious to know if you're already using some AI, if you're, yeah, where you stand with that. So we've,
Perfect.
I'll share with you the results a little bit later. Can move on.
Yeah, I'm running the documentation thread on the side. I'm gonna let it finish for Tachi. So the first thing I want to show you, it's how to first install and use our tools, our different tools, our skills, and our MCPs. Okay. So,
Oh,
well,
there's our new client community. Yay.
yeah, exactly. And everything you see on that specific community has been built with the tools I'm showing you today. So everything, this is a customer experience cloud. We have a lot of Salesforce partner in the room. So this is a full experience cloud developed with Claude Code using project as the middle source to address everything that needs to be developed, test everything that need to be tested. The project is the core of the development. So that's a big thing here is that you can do a lot with LLM, AI itself. It track to-dos, but at the end, you want to have more visibility. So product in the middle is the key. So it's going to track what you've been doing, what needs to be done. Your team can enter task in their project to feature upgrade and things like that. So that's why we have on our side a feature hub project where Rosalie is adding ideas or things to be fixed in it. And then our AI agent is delivering it. Another example is that how we use it. So you see now we've loaded all our objects in the system. So we have 44 lists. Last Friday we had 3. So this weekend, Claude and our skills were very busy. Our knowledge skills were very busy because they created those 44 knowledge article. So now you can consume all of it, and they've written already as well for our agent. So Clara can consume them better and can answer better your questions. So that's the purpose of having good documentation. It's going to help as well. Your agent knows more. So all this, and where I'm going with this is all this has been built with our knowledge skills, a version of it, and our knowledge MCP. Okay, so that's one thing. To install and get to your listing, you click on your avatar, you do my product, and you're gonna land here. Top part is the regular license that you are used to, and the bottom part is all our new stuff that are available for you to purchase. First, you're going to see that on my side, I already have the MCP data one and the skill project one, the two main things we're going to discover, and I can install it, in this case, download it. And I also have Planny, my project manager. So it's not because you're using skills, you're not going to use Planny. Your project manager are going to use this. Your admin people, specific requests are going to be using MCP data and skills. So sometime as well, the role gonna really differ which agent you're gonna use. So it's not because you're using the agent that you cannot use the MCP and vice versa. I use both. Okay. And then here at the bottom is what you can add. Today, on top of the MCP data one and skills project one, we're going to show the time one as well. Okay, so this is very interesting. And you see that you can also add our MCP server knowledge one and the skills. And I really do encourage you, if you're buying something from us, that you buy both the data and the skills. It's going to be the best $2,000 you're going to invest. The thing is with that MCP data, it's opening up all client objects, so you're going to be able to do everything. And the skills, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a full and blown good foundation for you to evolve, because skills evolve with what you tell them. You can change the methodology. So seriously, this is going to unlock a ton of things for you and your team. I seriously encourage you to buying both that MCP data one and project one to start. And then if you want to touch things more like on the time side, add time and knowledge. I understand it's something else, but yeah, this is the first two things. So when you're ready, you can just review and buy. You have to check. We're going to send you an invoice if you're doing it today. We're not going to ask you to pay to get the download link. So if you want to go ahead right now, and if you have the go ahead with your team to buy it, you can go and purchase. We're going to unlock it, and then the install button are going to show. You just press on it. It's going to download, in this case, 2 zip files that I'm going to show you here. And like I said, it's a bit more with Claude. We're going to jump in Claude now. I'm going to copy the path of those 2 files, the 2 zip files, and now I'm going to jump into Claude, and this is where the rest of the demo is going to be in that environment.
And just a little pause, we did get a question. I just wanted to mention it. Someone was asking if you can also build your own skills. And the answer is yes.
Yes. And this is the thing, you're going to modify our skills, or you're going to use our skills as the base for your skills, and skills evolve. My new title, and this is what I've been doing for the last 2 months, I'm a skill maker. This is what I'm doing. I've built several skills. I've built several MCP to automate a lot of things within the company. So really, this is, I think, the key. If you want to lead your business, become skill maker. And I'm encouraging everybody at Client, and Rosalie, you can testify to it. Everybody should be building their skill, and this is something that we are doing more and more, and I'm very pleased with because this is the future. We're forefront here. Everything we're trying, it's like new things. It's changing. It's evolving every day. So, but we're trying to keep up and staying relevant, like Salesforce said the other day. Okay, so in here, 2 things. First time, if you haven't installed it, I'm just gonna copy my path of skills, and this I'm gonna do this simply. I'm just gonna say install. Same with all the other LLM. Try it. Just do 2 zip and try install and see what's gonna happen. On other system, I'm telling you, it's gonna ask a lot more questions. It's gonna say I don't have any skills. And then the skills, it's fine because it's just instruction. You can just read them every time you need to do an operation, so it's fine. But the MCP Gemini is gonna load it a different way. So the tool is gonna find a way, but it might take you a half an hour of trying to figure it out. While on Claude, if you have the Salesforce CLI install, it's gonna go very flawlessly, and it's gonna do everything at once. Okay. In my case, I'm going to stop it because it's already installed. It's going to prompt you for a few questions. It's going to tell you what are the prerequisites. So in the cloud environment, it should be very easy to install. In every other environment, it might be a bit more tricky. We can help you out. This being said, we're also going to start a Slack channel where we can all collaborate together. We're all pushing the envelope here, so it would be great if we could have that community aspect of sharing and trying to help each other out to push the envelope. Okay, so at the end, we're going to share that Slack link if you want to join that Slack.
Maybe we'll do more webinars eventually on this
Yeah,
method.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you like that, I'm fine with doing one of those every week, practically, if we need to. This is what we do every week. We improve every week the way we work. So absolutely. Okay, so first thing, download the file, then drop it in your LLM and say install, see what's gonna happen, answer the question, the prerequisite. This is more for technical people because now we're in VS Code. If you didn't recognize, this is VS Code, and this is where it's happening. Okay, let me just close this here like that. Next thing will be to look after the install, what's going to happen, we can open up our MCP server. So if you do slash MCP server in Claude, it's going to list all the MCP server you have. In our case, the one are interested for us is the data one and knowledge one. You can see as well there is some Google one, so some Gmail, some Google Drive, some Zoom, some Slack. So those also could be interesting for you. Today we're talking about this one. If you click on it, you're going to see the tools. So MCP, they provide tools. And this is the tools we provide. Our documentation lists all of them too, but it's finding project, listing project, marking tasks to updated, at time entry. So as you can see, it can perform action on client by itself. So you don't absolutely need our skills. It's just that you might need to the LLM is gonna try to figure out things a lot more if you don't have the skills. While if you have the skills, there's already a path on how to log time versus now it's gonna need to figure out a lot of things because the tool is available, but the proper way of logging time, of creating the timesheets detail first and all the different fields, this would be the skills that would control it a bit more. Okay, so first prompt that we want to do. So now that our skills and our MCP are running, first thing to invoke a skill, you just start typing slash and then you pick it up, you use tab, and then I'm gonna paste a already written post. So it create a perfectly built project for a Salesforce consulting firm, implementing an Agentforce for support, 5 phase, total 120 hours across 2 months. Okay, so now it's going to do a few things and I'm already in auto mode. So now it's going to run and not ask me as much questions or as much approval. So when you're familiar with your agents and the tools, I'm always on auto mode now. So this is going to be our first prompt. We're going to let it run. Now, this is the thing with AI and those tools. You do like 5, 6, 10 things at once. So it's a bit crazy in the way it works, but seriously, I'm always having like 4 different projects I'm working on. So now we're going to also look at something else we can do with our skills. For this one, we're going to ask skill time 1. What is just submit it. Give me all the time log in June 2026, group by project, then project resource. Whoops, I didn't invoke the good one. So use time 1. So now it's going to be easier. So he will have been able to, I did the test before. It took the worksheet details to try to do it, while the real thing should be the time one is using timesheet split. So now that's a difference between our skills. They're going to figure it out, but sometimes it's easier to have the proper one. So time for time is better.
If I
On the
can
left
add
side.
something as well, I see a question asking if there will be a recording. There's a lot of things shown on the screen. It's going fast. So yes, we will send you the recording after so you can like look it back and do it at the same time afterwards.
Yeah, and you don't need to look at what's happening all the time. But let's come back to our project creation. Now it's telling me, okay, what's the estimate? And the skill is asking me a couple of questions. Do you want to link it to a specific account? And again, this is where I think Amita asked the question, can you create your own skill? This is where you can fine tune your process for your own stuff. So you see plain professional or do you want emojis on faces? Let me go with plain for now. And let's start a project on Monday. And it's a support project or it's looking at the different type. For now, just not to mess anything, I'm going to leave it as a support project. So now it's going and it's going to create all those tasks within the system that we're going to review in a few minutes. If we go back to our other query, which is running, we're gonna leave it run, and I'm gonna you're thinking I'm going fast, I'm gonna go even faster or deeper because I'm gonna start a third one. Because those query they take time, but they're very powerful. And you guys have been logging a lot of ideas on our idea exchange, right? So I'm gonna use our skills to look at the idea exchange project because every time you submit an idea, it becomes a task in our idea exchange project. And I'm gonna ask our project one skills to triage that project. So this is very interesting because it's gonna take another look at your skills and define and reports on it. So this is the kind of question you can ask your AI. What I'm showing you, it's not a full tutorial. It's not a how to. It's a kind of opening your eyes on what you can do with it. Yep.
And Yannick, it's funny, you said, oh, sometimes it takes sometimes to load, but it's still way faster than if someone was to do this manually in Client.
Absolutely. So that's why,
For
and
creating
that's
a whole
why when you
project.
get that brain mindset of like being able to run things in parallel, it's very powerful because while it does things, it does other thing. And now I'm getting. This is why I want to do more webinar because now my task, and you're gonna see the way it works, but they are talking to each other. So they now I'm like having my tests and my development task working together. So this way they can do batch. I'm not involved as much and things get developed. So that's another level of webinar that hopefully we can do in the future. Okay, so I just want to make sure I don't have any question to answer. In this one, we can see the triage didn't properly list like I wanted.
It's okay, you can just tell it to adjust.
Yeah, give me the latest. Ask. So you can absolutely just ask more stuff to it. In this case, I forgot, but we've modified this task for us to include the voting, and the voting is not a crow thing, so I didn't really think this through. But that demo, it's not gonna give me the perfect grouping of tasks because it's not taking into account that voting. But you can do that. You can use triage on the projects. It's a very cool functionality of the skills. Okay, so in terms of the June one to get the timesheet split, let me see what it got us. So it did exactly what we asked for. So it grouped our employees with our different sprint that we've worked on, and we can see what we've been working on, including some of that project that we just released. So 51.9 is coming in the next release. We developed a cool new UI we're gonna show you in terms of mass timesheet operations. So you're gonna be able to move things. So you can see this is live data, but this is the kind of report, and then you can dig in, you can explore. So tell me more about it, give me the comments. So you can absolutely dig in into those reports that the system is gonna give you. Okay, so that's another cool thing of a cool way of operating with the system, and it can give you reports and it can give you aggregation if you want as well within the data. Um, are prompts used log by client? Absolutely not. We're not logging anything. So it's all your LLM stuff. We're not touching anything. The MCP is just doing the transaction and that's it. We're not logging anything in here at all. And
We've
there's
got
no
a few more
connection to our
questions. I don't
system.
know if it's a good time or you want to wait a little later.
Say that again?
We have a few more questions. I don't know if you want to wait a little bit later.
I just see that the last one I'm going to answer. Yes, let's answer if you want. So does Client MCP include all Salesforce MCP tools? No, our MCP really work on our crow objects. So yes, you should install the other Salesforce MCP if you want to query opportunity, for example. You're going to be better served with the Salesforce MCP. So ours, it's working on our object. And the main difference between Salesforce MCP, which is great, and ours, it's ours know our objects. So they know that the timesheet splits work with the timesheet details on a timesheet and knows that when you assign somebody, you need to create a a task assignment schedule, but also a project assignment schedule, while the Salesforce MCP doesn't. You could teach it, you could show it, but you're gonna spend a lot more time doing this than buying $1,000 skills that we're selling today.
Especially to get to that project creation that you're doing, like maybe querying some info on like more reporting wise it works, but for this, it's a long way.
So finally, we have our project, and it give me on top the ID. So again, sometimes it does that. So give me a clickable URL. It does work well with typos, so don't bother fixing your writing. So now let's open up that project it created. By default, it knows that it needs to create a description, add a description to that project. You can see that we've asked for 120 hours estimated. This is what we have. There's 29 tasks in it. And then if I'm looking at the project itself, this is where we can have some surprise sometimes, but you can see it created a perfectly bounded start to finish waterfall kind of project, which is exactly what we need. Plus, this is for Salesforce partner and implementation, right? So you can see that it created the task. It created some milestones in the project. In this case, it didn't. I'm disappointed. It didn't create any checklists. So I could say, add me some checklist items on 2 tasks, plus bring me back those emoji
Mm-hmm.
you talked about. And let's see what's gonna happen while I consume this a bit more. You can see the description have been written on every task. So if I'm opening up that task, I'm gonna have a proper description for it. But also it estimated the work. So within my constraint of 120 hours, it did a proper estimation with a proper description. Let me close this up. Let me just zoom in so you can see that there's estimated hours in every one of my step here. And now that the tools is going on, you can see that it's updating my task. It added checklists already. So if I refresh, I'm gonna be seeing some blue here. You can see here that we have some blue showing up now. So we do have some checklist item being added into solution design document, and it created a bunch. So it created 8 checklist item. So yes, it does take some time, but you get some real productivity increase here. And now it's also updating all my icons. So you saw it on the left side, but now I have my proper emoji, which representing emoji, right? So phase 2 of foundation, so construction, agent, a robot. So magical. It's
And this
magical.
is where, of course, each company does different fields that they're using in their project. So the out of the box, like the skill, it does the ones we recommend to use. But then again, you can always decide to tell the system to only add certain fields or not fill in certain fields, etc.
So yes, and you can ask question to your skills. So if you're scared of doing stuff, you can always ask question, what do you do? And what can I do with you? So like in this kind, what kind of type of methodology you can do? And this is where we stop at some point because we could add like 20 million things in the skills. For now, it's like it should be a foundation, and then you guys can make it grow. This one is cool because you can take a spreadsheet
Mm.
and load a spreadsheet and it's going to recreate your project. So all for like new customer that's coming in or customer that haven't started to use properly our task and the project grouping, they can just ingest, the skill can ingest that spreadsheet. You can also tell it use, this is what I need to do. I'm sorry. I have another prompt I need to launch. So
We're at
I have
28
another
minutes.
template I want to show you. Oh, we're running out of time. No. There's
Unless we extend it, I don't know if people can type in the chat if they prefer to extend it.
I have
And we
let
keep
me show
going
you
or
something. Okay, I'm not gonna have time to demo it. So I have an autonomous project that I want to showcase. We're gonna do it next time because the next thing is that start executing some work. Okay, so that's the key thing. So here I'm adding to my project that we created together those tasks in it, and I can say execute them one by one. Okay, actually I'm gonna launch it. So phase 6 on this project. So execute. I know I was going to next something. Go and execute the APD, so autonomous project delivery. So this is what it's loading out, section one at a time. And what it's going to do, it's going to read the project opportunity and create a recap if you have the Salesforce CLI. But it's going to connect to my org and count the number of permissions set. I know I have a lot of people, Salesforce people here, but it's going to do some action. It's going to send a welcome email. It's going to create a support project via this skills, and it's going to send a Slack message automatically. So if I just do this and it's say it's not done yet, it's coming. But it's going to absolutely do and execute all of this. So if you understand properly, the project can be the center and you can dictate what will be your prompt in a task. Meaning you can now start building your project as an agent will be delivering your project. So go in that Google Drive folder, get all the requirements document that is in there, follow this methodology and create a new plan for the customer. So you can do all those kind of things and it will do it automatically. So this will be the end of it, but you're going to see a post showing in Slack soon if you're in our Slack channel, and this will be posted, but what we're running here. Uh, so, uh, uh, so yeah, it's magical.
And we did get, we can keep sharing the screen, but I just wanted to mention a couple of questions that came in. There was a lot of questions. We will follow up, by the way, at the end of the webinar. I'll send an email and just have all the questions and answers in bulk for everyone. But just a few things people are asking, like usage, consumption, credits, all that.
Yeah, I wanted to mention, you see, maybe you've seen how
How does
much
that
token
work?
I've been using. I don't care. I don't care if I bust. I don't care if I'm using a ton of token, and I don't care if all my employees burn a ton of token because the quality of the work and the output is amazing and tremendous. And actually, we stay under our consumption. This one doesn't only take Claude stuff, so it's nothing client related, and it consume API which you have within your platform. So there's no flex credit for this at all. So the only thing you need to buy it's our stuff, and then you have your cloud subscription or your other LLM subscription.
And just a reminder, like if you want to get the MCP, you do need to pay to get it. You can't like install it in a sandbox, test it, and because once we give you the package, then you have it. So I know that's a question that just came by. Uh,
Yeah, there's no trial. There's no if buy it if you don't like it and you want money back, we'll figure out something. But as soon as we give it, you have access. If you want to rebuild it, you have access to the source code. So we cannot let it go for free like this. But and then you can see it's doing all my tasks, right? And like I said, it's going to be showing in my Slack in a second. It's going to be showing that message that we have talked about in our customer channel. It's going to also send the email out to my customer. So you can automate a bunch of things with the client and MCPs and Salesforce.
All right. I just launched a quick poll because I'm just curious. There was a lot today. And yeah, I got messages from a colleague. We could have run a full hour on this. We did 30 minutes for the first one. We'll know for next time. But yeah, we're just curious to know now that you've seen this in action. We're curious, like, are you interested, not interested, more leaning towards agent because we explained a bit the difference. So yeah, just have a look at the poll. We will send a follow-up email, and there's a lot of details in our documentation. So on the website, there's a full page on MCP that details like security things, what exactly are the things that MCP can do and not do. So there's really a lot to dig in there. So I do encourage you, if you want to dive further into it, just have a look. We'll share all the links to that. And I think just let me just do you have the slide, Yannick? Or just showing
Yes,
that?
absolutely.
Yeah, just as an FYI, this was a special webinar today, but we do have like more webinars that are coming, product update webinars, normal ones. So the next one is going to be in July, and you can all register to the other ones. If you click on the link there, or it's just the webinar section on our website, you'll see all those upcoming webinars, also the past one, and we'll be adding, using Yannick's skill, we'll be adding this webinar recording to the website
Oh yeah, this is
by
also
the
I
end
want
of
to
today.
showcase.
That's another
Now
one.
we take the recording and the deck, and it's generating and posting everything. So next webinar on Rosalie. Let's do another one.
Perfect. And I'll just, this one we're particularly interested. We really want to know how the webinar went. We know we should have spent more time on it, so no need to mention
I
that
should have
feedback.
talked slower. I know. Show less
But
stuff. I know.
We want to know because typically we always do the product update format. So we want to know this webinar, was it useful? Not any feedback, please share. If you still have some questions about the MCP, feel free to drop them in the chat now so we can include them in the follow-up. And I think that's it, Yannick. Did you have any other things you wanted to mention?
Yeah, well, let's make it the other one 45 minutes. Sorry, I went over. I'm very excited about this stuff. So add me on Slack or on LinkedIn if you want to ask me questions. This seriously, I'm a skill maker now, so I'm happy to
Should
share
update your LinkedIn
my
profile
stuff.
now.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Claude is going to update my LinkedIn profile.
All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone. If you close the window as well, you'll be able to fill in the survey if you didn't have a chance to do it now. So we'll stop the recording. We'll still leave the chat open a little bit. And
Thank you, everyone.
we'll talk soon.